So I'm having a chat with John Reiner Edwards of Status Quo. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Yeah, just up on tour at the moment, and just very recently arisen. I'm just having a cup of tea and a piece of toast, as us English people do, you know.
Good. Yeah, good. You're busy at the moment releasing music as well. We've just started playing a single of yours called Can't Count Me Out. Tell us a little bit about the track.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear that. I just feel that once you get to a certain age, you've still got something to say. I mean, it's if you listen to the song, it's there's obviously a Who influence there, and but I was that's from the influence that I took from it was funny enough. The actual idea for the whole song came from Francis Rossi from Status Quo. He sent me, which is when I work with Francis, he sends me stuff that he knows that I'm going to like, and he's going to sort of put me into another room, if you will, to writing songs. And he wrote this thing, and it was really reminding me of the early Who. So, and when I look back at it, and I was growing up with them, they were quite angry, and as I wrote it, I started to get a bit angry because I was reading about people like J.K. Rowling and all that, and having all the trouble saying that they wanted to say, and I just thought, well, you shouldn't count people out. You shouldn't include people out because you don't agree with their opinion. Everybody's got an opinion, and just because you're either considered establishment or older, it doesn't mean to say that your opinion doesn't have any validity. So there.
Yeah, totally agree. And that single comes off a new record which is due out later this year. What can people expect to hear when they get a chance to take a listen?
Well, that one we put out 2 tracks so far on sort of I think they're available. I know toward you good folk at radio stations anyway, and I don't know what else, but we put out a sampler. We put out a 4-track sampler CD to accompany the tour because we were hoping that the album would be ready by now, but as it's probably the last one I'll ever do, myself and the producer sat down and said, this is going so well, but we are behind schedule, and rather just put something out that's half-baked that we're going to look back and think, no, we decided to wait. So that'll be out before the end of the year. Just thought I'd put that in, and it will be called Just Saying. But on that, there's songs ranging from flowers, subjects ranging from flowers. I wrote a song about a plant called Evening Primrose. Songs about relationships. It's just it's just musings basically on general stuff. Whether angry, there's a nice song about my wife. It should be, and it's not. There's one called Hard Drinking Woman, by the way, but that is not about my wife. Nobody's actually asked me before what it's all about, man. It's a collection of songs, ranging from very happy to very angry. There's one song in there called The PC World, which I think says it all, that says all about, my opinion about certain things. And then there's a song about spooning. Do you know what spooning is?
I know 2 different types of spooning, so you tell me which one this is about.
This is the spooning on a nice afternoon, just on the sofa or out in the fields or whatever, just spooning. It's about relaxing. Mm-hmm. Songs about people. I've written songs about people they'll never know that the song is about them, which is no bad thing because you don't want to tell people. But I've not said anything bad about anybody because that's not the kind of guy I am. So there. I guarantee. There's songs about growing old disgracefully. And there will be things that it will put a smile on your face for sure. There's some good rocking stuff in there. There's a song called Being Never Too Old to Rock and Roll. And you'll hopefully you listen to it, you'll have a smile on your face sometimes, and another time you think, well, I don't agree with that, or I agree with that. And the musicianship is amazing. I've got on one of the tracks, I've got a lot of guest musicians on this, ranging from Francis Rossi and Andrew Bound from Status Quo to Christopher Wollstonecombe, the bass player from Muse. He played bass on one track because he decided that he could really play a shuffle, and it's a real dying art. And I said, no, you can't. He said, yes, I can. No, you can't. You know. I said, all right, then play on that. So of course he did, and he did it really well. But he really enjoys close music, which you wouldn't expect, I suppose, being in music. But it's what he grew up with, and he's got the feel for it. And it is a dying art. Not many people have it. So apart from that, apart from Francis, Andrew, and him, I have my son Freddie. I'm playing a lot of stunt guitar. I have my daughter May doing backing vocals because they're both very cheap. And then I have Craig Joyner, who's the guitar player from a band called Romeo's Daughter, who's the guitar player in the band on the touring side of things. And then on the drums, I have Richard Newman, who used to play Riders Revenge. I have my cousin Clive, again, very cheap, who's played in UFO and lots of other bands in the 90s. And I have Leon Kane from Status Quo, who's also in the touring side of things. And we're having an absolute ball, just the three of us, making a lot of noise, a lot of bluster, but having great fun doing it. And people seem to be really liking it.
Good. And
I didn't make you get a word in there, did I?
I'm used to it. I knew what I was getting myself into when I interview an artist of your calibre. So
well, hind legs and donkey spring to mind. Anyway,
I remember interviewing Dave Hill of Slade, and I asked him 2 questions, and the interview lasted 40 minutes.
Wow.
One that sticks in my mind. But you've mentioned Status Quo, and you've been a member of them for coming up to 40 years now. What are you doing at the moment with the Quo?
Bugger all, actually, at the moment, because Francis has really, I think as he's sort of grown older, if you like, I think he's become a lot more comfortable in his own skin, as opposed to being part of the band. And obviously with Rick passing, Parfitt passing, a lot of it, there was a lot of the responsibilities fell to him, and he took them on very well. And someone suggested he do a speaking tour a couple of years ago, which went okay. And then he did another one last year. But I think he's really found his niche this time. He's not playing the larger venues. He's just playing venues with him and another guitar and a technician stroke guitar player called Andy Brook. And they're just discussing songs. I mean, I haven't seen it, unfortunately, because our paths haven't crossed. Because I've actually spent a lot of time away this year with family commitments. But everyone I know who's been to see it says it's really good. And Francis just talking about songs and having a chat. And the tour is aptly called Tunes and Chat. And, in a town near you, ladies and gentlemen, I think he's still got about another 40 shows to do. But that is why Status Quo is doing nothing this year, is because he did, he's done 103 shows, I think, which is a lot.
Yes. Yeah, I can well imagine. I think you've got a couple of dates with them next year in summer.
Yeah, we have. We're back. We're back out in the summer, and after that, I don't know what the future will hold. I know that all we're going to do is next summer is the next year rather is the summer. But I'm very much looking forward to it. The mothership is a very nice thing. It's a lot of very nice people working there, and I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love what I'm doing here. It's on a very small scale, low level, and I'm the turn, and I'm enjoying that very much. But I'm looking forward to getting to being to something where I'm part of the turn.
Yeah.
Where everything, I'm working with Leon, which is great, but I miss the other guys. I socialise a fair amount with Andrew, the keyboard player. Well, we speak a lot, and we've got other projects going on. And Richie's in Ireland, but we speak to him a lot, and I'm in touch with Francis as well. So, yeah, it's going to be great next year.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the writing side of things. So, for you, when you come to write a track, what tends to start things off for you? Is it a riff or is it a lyric or a melody? What works for you?
Well, once I get something, it's normally a feeling of dread, because once I get something, I think, oh yeah, I like that. Oh my God, yeah, here we go. And it's just like that. And then after that, like, yeah, I've got one. Bugger it, because I know that it's then going to be at least 200 hours of work to get the finished article. I mean, I'm not a natural songwriter. I mean, there have been one or two in my 3 albums that have come to me I had one that I wrote and finished in 20 minutes on my first one. That was my. So sorry. So to go back about writing, my brother-in-law was talking about somebody, and she was being very foolish. And he said, "That girl," she said, "Oh, what did he say?" She said, "Close her bloody legs and open her mind." And I was next door at the time, and I went to my little room next door and wrote a song called "Shame" in 20 minutes. Everything. That's so rare. You know, some people are so lucky that they can do that. But no, if I get an idea, I mean, you know, Can't Count Me Out, the song you're talking about. Ooh. At least, it doesn't sound like it, okay, but probably about 100 hours on the lyrics. Yeah. You know, as I said, it doesn't sound it because it doesn't come naturally to me. But if I've got something to say, I want to say it's got to be right. What I want to say to the letter. I know who's the playwright? Harold Pinter. Someone asked him about, do you mind if we stage one of your plays this way? And he said, I don't care how you stage it. Do whatever you like. Just don't change a bloody word. And it's attention to detail. That's what I have to do. Otherwise, I don't like it. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
And you know, whether you like what I've done or not, there's been a lot of time and effort gone into it, and I'm fully believe in it. You know, and if someone does suggest something that's an improvement, I'm always ready to take that on board. For instance, on the record I'm doing with Mike Paxman, the producer, I mean, I feel that I've sort of given him a black and white photograph, and he's just got out, or a black and white painting, and he's got out his palette and he's just coloured it, and he's just done such amazing things. He's made the whole thing so colourful. I can't tell you how thrilled I am with it all. You know, and if I have an idea, he said yes or no, but mainly it's yes. You know, we really are on the same page on the whole project, and he's also has to be my best mate. So, you know, you could have things, you could have real arguments, but we don't. There's no arguments either. It's been a joy from start to finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, the writing. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's hard work. But then when I hear people, especially when we got all the players on the record. I didn't get anyone on because they were a name, if you like. You know, I mean, there's 3 people in there who are almost household names. But I got them on there because I really wanted them to play it, especially with Chris. I wanted to see if he really could play a shuffle, because if he hadn't cut it, I wouldn't have put it on. You know, Francis and Andrew, I know everyone, from my son to Craig to my to all from Jim Kirkpatrick, who plays with me from Ryan's Adventure. I've asked everybody to play on it, because I want to hear what they add to the songs, and everything I've kept that they've done, it's been brilliant. It's really added to it, and they like it, which is very nice too. Yeah. You know, I sent it to Francis. I couldn't believe his reaction to, especially to the stuff that he didn't play on. He said, so you wait until you were 70 to come of age as a writer, then. Thanks.
Yeah. John, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Well, I hope it wasn't too dull.